Do you know the history of newspaper in India? How and when newspaper came to India? Who played an important role in it? Newspaper can be defined as a printed means of conveying current information. Its function is to provide edutainment, information, education and entertainment. It also plays a role of the watchdog of the society. First Indian newspaper under British administration. India's first newspaper, the Bengal Gazette, was published on 29th January 1780 by James Augustus Hickey. At the time of East India administration. 1784, Calcutta Gazette. 1785, Bengal Journal. 1785, Madras Courier, published by Richard Johnson in English language in Madras. 1789, Bombay Herald, first newspaper published in Bombay. 1796, Indian Herald by Humphrey. 1799, regulation passed by the East India administration. The time known for strict governmental control and censorship, publishers were not allowed to publish news against government. 1811, Calcutta Chronicle newspaper started from Calcutta by James Silk Buckingham. Under the Indian administration. 1822, Raja Ram Mohan Roy started a Bengali newspaper, Sambad Kaumudi. 1822, a Persian newspaper, Miratul Akhbar, was also started by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. 1822, Bombay Samachar was launched by Fardunjee Marzban, Asia's oldest newspaper. 1826, the first Hindi newspaper, Udant Martand, The Rising Sun, was published from Calcutta. This day is celebrated as the Hindi Journalism Day or Hindi Patrakarita Divas, as it marked the beginning of journalism in Hindi language. 3rd November 1838, The Times of India issued its first edition as the Bombay Times and Journal of Commerce. 1857 is known as the year of the emergence of journalism in India. In 1857, newspapers owned by Indians and British were divided. Government passed the Vernacular Press Act in 1876. 1861, the first edition of the Times of India was published by Robert Knight. 1868, Amrit Bazar Patrika was started by two brothers, Shishir Kumar Ghosh and Motilal Ghosh. This was the time when social reformers and political readers had started contributing to the field of journalism. 1878, The Hindu was started in English language, mainly distributed in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. 1881, newspaper Kesari in Marathi was started by Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak and a Marathi newspaper Maharatta. 1919, Mahatma Gandhi started two weekly newspapers, Young India and Navjivan. 1933, third weekly magazine Harijan was started by Mahatma Gandhi. 1938, National Herald newspaper was started by Jawaharlal Nehru. 1927, industrialist G.D. Birla started Hindustan Times. 1927, S. Sadanand in Mumbai for the poor and the middle class started Free Press Journal. 1931, the arrival of the Indian Press Act. After independence, many changes took place in the newspaper. Functions of the journalists changed. Most of the newspapers were in the hands of Indian editors. 1946, Press Trust of India started regular news agency services in India. Earlier, people were working for a mission, but after independence, a professional approach was seen in the newspapers. This resulted in the employment of people and various technical changes took place. 1956, the arrival of the Newspaper Price and Page Act. By 1970s, newspapers had acquired an industrial status. Indeed, the Indian newspaper industry is the largest in the world. Daily newspapers like Times of India, The Hindu, Hindustan Times, The Statesman, Economic Times, The Tribune, Dainik Jagran, Dainik Bhaskar, Amar Ujala, etc. have become the most circulated newspapers in the country. Emergency imposed by Indira Gandhi during 1975 to 1977. Oppressive policy was at its peak, but later the status of the press changed and it reached its peak. At last, the newspaper does not just inform us about the problems of people, etc. The newspaper plays an important role in strengthening the sovereignty and integrity of a nation.